And right now, viewers, we are tracking the kind of violence that had broken out in the country in several states of UP, Bihar, and even in Hyderabad, even in several states, in fact, in Gujarat as well. Today, we are seeing that there are several protests that have been carried out by people. In fact, also harming the public properties, setting fire to trains, pelting stones on buses, pelting stones on civilians as well in large gatherings as well. Now, these are the kind of protests, the images of which are on your screens that we have been tracking since yesterday. And even then, we have seen that the MHA has come out with a new announcement of raising the upper age limit when it comes to the Agniveer schemes. And the Indian Army Chief also has come out in a public forum and has stated that the people, the aspirants, in fact, should not fall prey to this misinformation propaganda campaign. They should take a step back and see what really the Agniveer scheme is all about. And even as we were tracking the ground reports that were being filed by our colleagues on the ground, they had shown how people, eyewitnesses as well, claiming that these were not aspirants, but miscreants as well, who had hijacked this entire protest and also were creating mayhem on the streets in the name of protesting against the Agniveer schemes. These were the latest that we were getting from the ground. And even as the government has made a new announcement, we are seeing no change. There are several people still trying to stoke the fire, still trying to add fuel to the fire, and trying to instigate the people to come out on the streets and protest this kind of an Agniveer scheme that has been introduced by the MOD. And our correspondents are on the ground getting you the latest when it comes to the protest and the developing situation. And let's take a look at this ground report filed by my colleague Vaibhav, and then we'll get you all the breaking updates.
गोपालगंज में अगर स्थितियों की बात करें तो धारा 144 लगी है, तो बाहर स्थितियां सामान्य है। लेकिन हम इस वक्त गोपालगंज की तहसील सिद्धवलिया में खड़े हैं, जहां पर बीते दिन आगजनी हुई थी और ये ट्रेन उस बात की गवाही दे रही है। ये वो डिब्बा है जो पूरी तरह से अब जल चुका है और सिर्फ निशान बाकी हैं। ये सिद्धवलिया स्टेशन पर खड़ा है। दरअसल ये ट्रेन गोरखपुर से निकलकर यहां पर पाटलिपुत्र की तरफ आगे बढ़ रही थी। छपरा जाना था इस ट्रेन को, जिस ट्रेन को यहां पर सिद्धवालिया में रोका गया। आप सोचिए, यहां पर इस ट्रेन का स्टॉपेज भी नहीं है, लेकिन इस ट्रेन को जबरन उपद्रवियों के द्वारा रोका गया और रोके जाने के बाद इस ट्रेन को आग के हवाले कर दिया गया। अपने विजय सीपी सिंह मैं कहूंगा एक बार अंदर की भी तस्वीरें दिखाएं कि किस तरह से ये जो मंजर है, ये जो हालात है, इनसे आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि जो यात्री ट्रेन में बैठे होंगे उनके अंदर कितना ज्यादा खौफ होगा। इन तस्वीरों के जरिए बहुत आसानी से आप समझ सकते हैं। ये ट्रेन दरअसल यहां से छपरा जा रही थी गोरखपुर से होते हुए, जिस ट्रेन को इस स्टेशन पर रोका गया। रोके जाने के बाद ट्रेन की ये बोगी पूरी तरह से आग के हवाले कर दी गई। आग की तपिश तो जरूर खत्म हो चुकी है, लेकिन इस ट्रेन का ये जो हिस्सा है, इस ट्रेन की ये जो बोगी है, ये बता रही है कि आखिर वहां पर क्या मंजर होगा। अंदर जो लोग इस डिब्बे के अंदर मौजूद होंगे, उनके अंदर कितना खौफ और कितना डर होगा प्रदर्शन के नाम पर। क्योंकि अग्निपथ योजना के बाद जिस तरह से देश भर के तमाम राज्यों में प्रदर्शन हो रहा है, इनमें बिहार सबसे अग्रणी राज्य है। और बिहार के अंदर सबसे बड़ी बात यह कि बिहार में लगातार प्रदर्शन जारी है। गोपालगंज में प्रदर्शन को लेकर धारा 144 लगी है। किसी भी तरह से भीड़ जमा ना हो, इसको लेकर लगातार प्रशासन मुस्तैद है। लेकिन बिहार के गोपालगंज के ये तहसील सिद्धौलिया, जहां पर आगजनी हुई और आगजनी के बाद ये ट्रेन का वो डिब्बा, वो बर्थ इस बात की गवाही दे रहा है कि यहां पर हालात और मंजर क्या थे। सीपी सिंह जी, एक बार ये तस्वीरें दिखाइएगा, क्योंकि ये तस्वीरें बहुत अहम है। जिस तरह से सरकारी संपत्तियों को नुकसान पहुंचाया गया है, आप इस डिब्बे की छतों को देखिए, इस डिब्बे की सीटों को देखिए, पंखों को देखिए, आपको कुछ भी नजर नहीं आएगा। सिर्फ और सिर्फ ये मलबा जो चीख चीख कर ये कह रहा है कि क्या गुजरी है इस ट्रेन पर, क्या गुजरी है इस ट्रेन के इस बोगी पर। सीट पूरी तरह से खत्म हो चुकी है। ये कहें कि अब ये पूरा कबाड़ में तब्दील हो चुका है, चलता फिरता डिब्बा।
Correspondents on the ground, in fact, have filed for you viewers, and all of them showing the same image of debris and the charred images of bogies and trains and buses that we are seeing from across the nation, especially in UP, in Bihar, in Secunderabad as well, where we had seen several bogies of the trains that had been set on fire. Now, these were the people who had been hijacking these protests, trying to create mayhem on the streets. Since yesterday, we had been tracking that, and of course, we were also seeing that they were being supported by several of the political elements as well, who are on the ground and trying to instigate this kind of a protest, as we are seeing on the ground. The images of the kind of violence that this protest is bringing are on your screens right now. Even as we track the kind of even as we track what really the government has made the announcement about when it comes to increasing the upper age limit that really was being protested before. But the question still remains, viewers, who is stoking this fire and for what reason now? Because even on the ground, we had seen that the eyewitnesses claiming that these were not aspirants, but several people who had come with only one agenda, that was to set fire to the bogie, set fire to the buses and pelt stones on the civilians and disrupt the civilian life as well. Now, those were the images that we were getting from across the country. Even today, we are seeing fresh images of protests that are breaking out in Gujarat, in Bihar. In fact, in Bihar as well, we had seen that an FIR has been registered. Several FIRs, in fact, have been registered, and people are starting to get booked by the authorities for creating this kind of a violence on the streets, even as the government carries out their outreach program of carrying out a dialogue to understand what really are the issues that the aspirants might be facing. One of which had been that of the upper age limit that now the government has taken cognizance of. And today itself, the major announcement that had been made by the government by increasing the age limit as well for the aspirants. Even then, we are seeing several people on the streets creating mayhem and violence.